B&B spoilers. Dr. Finn feels bad for Sheila Carter? Sheila Carter is about to have her heart crushed on the bold and the beautiful, and everyone knows it. While everyone is rallying the troops to protect Taylor Hayes, will Dr. John Finnegan be able to stand by and watch his mom get railroaded by her husband and everyone else? If Dr. Finn Tanner Novlin shows any mercy to his mom, how will his wife Queen Steffi react? Here's what's coming up next on Bold and Beautiful. Spoilers below. Steffi prepares for another Sheila battle. Next week on Bold and Beautiful, the Sheila Carter, Kimberlin Brown explosion we have been waiting for will finally take place. Soap spoilers say Steffi Forrester, Jacqueline McInnes Wood, will recruit the Forrester family to help her protect her mom Taylor Hayes, Rebecca Budig, when the truth comes out. Obviously Steffi will assume that her husband Finn is on board, but she could be wrong this time. Finn has always followed his wife's orders and cut ties with his bio mom Sheila Carter. But when he finds her heartbroken and devastated that her husband ran off with his therapist, spoilers hint he could feel a little bad for her. Sheila has been on her best behavior and made impressive progress since she married Deacon Sharp Sean Cannon, and Deacon wouldn't be divorcing her if he hadn't started flirting with the woman that was supposed to save their marriage. Dr. Finn might also think it's shady that Taylor is canoodling with her patient, since they took the same oath. Steffi will flip. According to Bold and the Beautiful spoilers, Steffi will be on the warpath if she catches her husband having a moment with his mom. If Finn defends his mom and Sheila ends up hurting Taylor, Steffi is never going to be able to get past it, and he can kiss his marriage goodbye. Do you think that Sheila Carter is getting the short end of the stick right now? Will her son feel bad for her? Share your thoughts and theories in the comments down below. B&B spoilers. Dr. Finn feels bad for Sheila Carter? Sheila Carter is about to have her heart crushed on the bold and the beautiful, and everyone knows it. While everyone is rallying the troops to protect Taylor Hayes, will Dr. John Finnegan be able to stand by and watch his mom get railroaded by her husband and everyone else? If Dr. Finn Tanner Novlin shows any mercy to his mom, how will his wife Queen Steffi react? Here's what's coming up next on Bold and Beautiful. Spoilers below. Steffi prepares for another Sheila battle. Next week on Bold and Beautiful, the Sheila Carter, Kimberlin Brown explosion we have been waiting for will finally take place. Soap spoilers say Steffi Forrester, Jacqueline McInnes Wood, will recruit the Forrester family to help her protect her mom Taylor Hayes, Rebecca Budig, when the truth comes out. Obviously Steffi will assume that her husband Finn is on board, but she could be wrong this time. Finn has always followed his wife's orders and cut ties with his bio mom Sheila Carter. But when he finds her heartbroken and devastated that her husband ran off with his therapist, spoilers hint he could feel a little bad for her. Sheila has been on her best behavior and made impressive progress since she married Deacon Sharp Sean Cannon, and Deacon wouldn't be divorcing her if he hadn't started flirting with the woman that was supposed to save their marriage. Dr. Finn might also think it's shady that Taylor is canoodling with her patient, since they took the same oath. Steffi will flip. According to Bold and the Beautiful spoilers, Steffi will be on the warpath if she catches her husband having a moment with his mom. If Finn defends his mom and Sheila ends up hurting Taylor, Steffi is never going to be able to get past it, and he can kiss his marriage goodbye. Do you think that Sheila Carter is getting the short end of the stick right now? Will her son feel bad for her? Share your thoughts and theories in the comments down below. In the ever-shifting sands of Los Angeles high fashion and low-road drama, The Bold and the Beautiful has just delivered a heartbreaking twist that has fans reaching for the tissues, and perhaps a bit of caution. Today's very sad news centers on the fractured, complex bond between the show's resident hero doctor, John Finn Finnegan, and his notorious biological mother, Sheila Carter. While Sheila is often the architect of her own misery, the latest developments have left Finn in a state of profound emotional turmoil, caught between the woman who gave him life and the family she has repeatedly terrorized. The heartbreaking shift. Why Finn feels bad for Sheila. For years, Finn has walked a razor's edge. On one side is his wife, Steffi Forrester, who understandably wants Sheila scrubbed from their lives forever. On the other is Finn's own biological pull, a doctor's innate compassion mixed with a son's desperate hope that maybe, just maybe, his mother could change. But the sad news hitting the airwaves today involves a double-layered betrayal that has left Sheila more isolated than ever, and Finn is the only one seeing the human wreckage behind the villain's mask. 1. The ultimate betrayal by Deacon and Taylor. The core of Finn's current sadness for Sheila stems from the brewing storm involving Deacon Sharp and Taylor Hayes. The irony: Sheila currently views Taylor as her savior. She credits Taylor's therapy sessions for saving her marriage to Deacon. The reality: in a twist that only soaps can provide, Deacon and Taylor have developed genuine, forbidden feelings for one another. Finn's burden. Finn is one of the few who knows the truth. Watching his mother sing the praises of the two people who are essentially dismantling her world behind her back is a tragic irony that Finn finds difficult to swallow. He sees a woman who finally thought she belonged, unaware that the floor is about to drop out. 2. The weight of the Luna secret. Adding to the somber atmosphere is the fallout from the Luna Nozawa tragedy. Sheila has been grappling with the weight of secrets and the loss of what she thought was a burgeoning family unit. When Finn looks at Sheila now, he doesn't just see a monster. He sees a woman who is fundamentally broken and perpetually rejected. A doctor's compassion or a son's blindness. The engagement from fans has been off the charts today as they debate Finn's reaction. Is he being too soft? Or is his empathy what makes him the show's moral compass? Finn is a healer by nature, says one longtime viewer. Seeing him feel bad for Sheila isn't a sign of weakness. It's a sign of how much he values human redemption, even when it's undeserved. However, the tragedy lies in the inevitability of the explosion. Finn knows that once Sheila discovers Deacon and Taylor's connection, the old Sheila will likely return. He feels bad because he knows this might be her last chance at a normal life, and it's being burned down by the people she trusted most. This sad news for Shin fans. For fans of Shin, Steffi and Finn, this empathy is a dark omen. Every time Finn feels a pull toward Sheila, it creates a rift in his marriage. Steffi's stance: she is firm. Sheila is a predator. Finn's conflict: he sees a pathetic, deluded woman who is about to be humiliated. The sadness today isn't just about Sheila's potential heartbreak. It's about the inevitable collateral damage. If Finn tries to protect Sheila or comfort her when the truth comes out, he risks losing Steffi all over again. What's next? A deadly rampage. Spoilers suggest that Finn's pity may soon turn to panic. And the beautiful news hits with a heavy emotional punch, because something is shifting inside Dr. John Finn Finnegan, and it's the last thing Steffi and frankly fans want to hear. Finn is starting to feel bad for Sheila Carter. And in the dangerous, emotionally charged world of B&B, sympathy for Sheila is never just sympathy. It's a crack in the dam. Broken heart. For months, Finn has tried to draw an unbreakable line between the woman who gave him life and the monster who has repeatedly torn lives apart. He has stood beside Steffi, promised loyalty to their family, and insisted that Sheila no longer has a place in his heart or his world. But today's very sad news suggests that resolve is weakening, and the consequences could be devastating. Finn's moral compass is pulling him in two directions. Finn has always been different from the other men in Sheila's orbit. He's not driven by obsession or manipulation. He's driven by empathy, ethics, and an unshakable belief in healing, even for the most broken souls. That's what made him such a good doctor. And tragically, it's also what makes him vulnerable when it comes to Sheila Carter. Lately, Finn has been forced to confront a painful reality. Sheila is isolated, hated, feared, cut off from nearly everyone she's ever known. Even Deacon, the one person who once tried to see good in her, has struggled to keep his distance. And Finn, he sees not just the crimes, but the loneliness behind them. That realization is eating away at him. He knows what Sheila has done. He hasn't forgotten the shootings, the terror, the endless trail of trauma she's left behind. But Finn also sees a woman who desperately wants connection, who clings to the idea of redemption like a lifeline. And that internal conflict between justice and compassion is tearing him apart. Sympathy for Sheila is a dangerous first step. Let's be clear, on the bold and the beautiful, feeling sorry for Sheila Carter has never ended well. Not once. History tells us that Sheila feeds on sympathy. She mistakes kindness for permission, concern for forgiveness, and emotional openness for an invitation back into people's lives. Finn knows this intellectually, but emotionally he's slipping. Sources close to the storyline suggest Finn isn't planning to act on these feelings yet. But even unspoken sympathy can change behavior. A softer tone, a longer conversation, a moment of hesitation when he should be firm, and Sheila notices everything. If Finn starts seeing Sheila as a victim rather than a threat, he risks becoming exactly what Steffi fears most. Another person who underestimates how dangerous Sheila can be. Steffi's worst nightmare is quietly coming true. For Steffi Forrester, this development is heartbreaking and terrifying. Steffi has fought tooth and nail to protect her family from Sheila. She has set firm boundaries, demanded total transparency, and made it clear that any emotional attachment to Sheila is unacceptable. Not because she's cruel, but because she's realistic. Steffi knows Sheila doesn't need access to their home to cause damage. All she needs is a foothold in Finn's heart. The saddest part? Finn doesn't even realize how close he's getting to that edge. If Steffi senses even a hint that Finn is softening towards Sheila, it could reopen old wounds and reignite the fear that nearly destroyed their marriage before. Trust, once shaken, is incredibly hard to rebuild, especially when Sheila Carter is involved. Is Finn confusing pity with responsibility? Part of Finn's struggle comes from the undeniable truth that Sheila is his biological mother. No matter how much he rejects her actions, that bond exists, and it carries emotional weight he can't simply turn off. Finn may be asking himself impossible questions. What kind of man abandons his own mother completely? Is it wrong to feel compassion, even for someone who's done terrible things? Can I care without condoning? These are deeply human questions, and that's what makes today's news so sad. Finn isn't weak, he's conflicted. But BNB has shown us time and time again that Sheila exploits moral confusion better than anyone. And the moment Finn starts feeling responsible for Sheila's emotional well-being, the balance of power shifts. Sheila senses the change, and she will use it. Make no mistake, Sheila Carter knows when someone is wavering. She can read guilt in a glance, hesitation in a pause, and sympathy in the smallest gesture. If Finn feels bad for her, Sheila will sense it, and she will push. She won't rush. She won't demand. She'll play the long game, expressing regret, talking about wanting to be better, claiming she just wants peace, emphasizing how alone she feels. And every word will be calculated. To the outside world, it may look like growth. To Sheila, it's strategy. The emotional fallout could be massive. If Finn's sympathy grows, the ripple effects could be explosive. Steffi may feel betrayed, even if Finn insists he's done nothing wrong. Deacon could be pulled back into Sheila's orbit if Finn legitimizes her pain. Lee would likely be furious, seeing history repeat itself yet again. And Finn himself could lose the moral clarity that once defined him. The tragedy here isn't that Finn feels bad for Sheila. It's that his goodness, the very thing that makes him lovable, is being weaponized against him. A very sad turning point for Finn. Today's bold and the beautiful news isn't about a crime, a betrayal, or a shocking twist. It's about something quieter and far more dangerous. It's about a good man starting to doubt his own boundaries. Finn feeling bad for Sheila Carter may seem small, even compassionate. But in the world of BNB, compassion toward Sheila has always come with a cost. And if Finn doesn't recognize the warning signs in himself soon, he could lose far more than his peace of mind. He could lose Steffi. He could endanger his children. and he could open the door to a nightmare he spent his entire life trying to escape. One thing is painfully clear. Sympathy is the first crack in the armor, and Sheila Carter knows exactly how to widen it. Broken heart. If you want, I can also. These are deeply human questions, and that's what makes today's news so sad. Finn isn't weak, he's conflicted. But BNB has shown us time and time again that Sheila exploits moral confusion better than anyone. And the moment Finn starts feeling responsible for Sheila's emotional well-being, the balance of power shifts. Sheila senses the change, and she will use it. Make no mistake, Sheila Carter knows when someone is wavering. She can read guilt in a glance, hesitation in a pause, and sympathy in the smallest gesture. If Finn feels bad for her, Sheila will sense it, and she will push. She won't rush. She won't demand. She'll play the long game, expressing regret, talking about wanting to be better, claiming she just wants peace, emphasizing how alone she feels. And every word will be calculated. To the outside world, it may look like growth. To Sheila, it's strategy. The emotional fallout could be massive. If Finn's sympathy grows, the ripple effects could be explosive. Steffi may feel betrayed, even if Finn insists he's done nothing wrong. Deacon could be pulled back into Sheila's orbit if Finn legitimizes her pain. Lee would likely be furious, seeing history repeat itself yet again. And Finn himself could lose the moral clarity that once defined him. The tragedy here isn't that Finn feels bad for Sheila. It's that his goodness, the very thing that makes him lovable, is being weaponized against him. A very sad turning point for Finn. Today's bold and the beautiful news hits like a punch to the gut for longtime fans, because just when Steffi Forrester thought she might finally be able to breathe, the shadow of Sheila Carter creeps back in, dark, dangerous, and impossible to ignore. It's a heartbreakingly familiar setup, and that's what makes it so sad. Steffi has fought this war before. She has scars from it, and now, painfully, she's bracing herself to fight it all over again. For Steffi, this isn't just another storyline twist. This is trauma resurfacing. This is fear knocking at the door she spent years trying to keep locked. Steffi's hard-won peace is slipping away. Steffi has worked relentlessly to build a stable, safe life for herself and her children. After everything Sheila put her through, the violence, the manipulation, the constant threat, Steffi didn't just survive, she rebuilt. She leaned on Finn, found strength in motherhood, and tried to reclaim a sense of normalcy. But peace on B&B is always fragile, and today's very sad news makes one thing heartbreakingly clear, that fragile peace is cracking. Whispers of Sheila's presence, her influence, or even just her name are enough to send Steffi into high alert. Fans can already see the signs. Steffi's guarded expressions, her tense conversations, the way she's mentally preparing for the worst before it even happens. This isn't paranoia. This is survival instinct. And that's what makes it so devastating. Steffi never really got to move on. She just learned how to live with the fear. Sheila Carter, a nightmare that never truly ends. Sheila Carter isn't just a villain. She's a force of chaos that refuses to stay buried. Time and again, she has proven that no prison cell, no restraining order, no plea for mercy can truly keep her away from the people she obsesses over. For Steffi, Sheila represents the ultimate threat, not only to her own life, but to her family. The memories are still raw. The pain is still close to the surface. And the possibility of another confrontation is enough to reopen wounds that never fully healed. What makes this situation even sadder is that Steffi knows Sheila all too well. She knows how patient she can be, how calculating, how she waits for the perfect moment to strike. That knowledge weighs heavily on Steffi, because she understands something terrifying. If Sheila is circling again, it's only a matter of time before things explode. Finn caught in the middle, again. As Steffi prepares herself for another Sheila battle, there's one unavoidable complication: Finn. Finn's connection to Sheila has always been the emotional fault line in his marriage to Steffi. No matter how firmly he sets boundaries, no matter how much he reassures Steffi. Sheila remains his biological mother, and Sheila knows exactly how to exploit that fact. Steffi can already sense the tension building. She loves Finn deeply, but love doesn't erase fear. Every time Sheila resurfaces, Steffi is forced to wonder if Finn could be manipulated again, if his compassion could be used against them, or if his hesitation could cost them everything. That's a heavy emotional burden to carry, and today's very sad news suggests Steffi is bracing herself not only for a physical threat, but an emotional one too. A mother's greatest fear. At the heart of this looming battle is Steffi's deepest fear, her children. Nothing terrifies Steffi more than the idea of Sheila anywhere near her kids. She's not just fighting for herself anymore. She's fighting for their safety, their innocence, their future. And that raises the stakes to an unbearable level. Steffi's preparations aren't dramatic, they're desperate. She's thinking ahead, planning escape routes, reinforcing boundaries, and mentally preparing for a fight she never wanted. The sadness comes from knowing she shouldn't have to live this way. No mother should. Yet here she is again, forced into warrior mode because Sheila Carter refuses to stay gone. Emotional exhaustion sets in. One of the most heartbreaking aspects of this storyline is Steffi's exhaustion. Not physical exhaustion, but emotional. She's tired of being strong, tired of being vigilant, tired of always waiting for the next disaster. There's a quiet sadness in watching Steffi prepare for another battle instead of enjoying the life she's fought so hard to build. Fans can see it in her eyes, hear it in her voice. This isn't rage fueling her anymore, it's resignation. Sheila has taken so much from Steffi already, and the idea that she might take even more is almost unbearable to watch. The Forrester family braces for impact. Steffi isn't facing this alone, but that doesn't make it easier. The Forrester family knows what Sheila is capable of, and the tension ripples outward as they brace for what could be coming. There's fear, there's anger, there's a sense of dread that history may repeat itself. And yet, despite the support, Steffi still feels the weight of this fight squarely on her shoulders. She's been the primary target before. She knows what it's like to stare danger in the face, and that knowledge isolates her in ways even her loved ones can't fully understand. A tragic pattern repeats. What makes today's news especially sad is the sense that Bold and the Beautiful is revisiting a tragic pattern. Steffi escapes, heals, grows stronger, only to be dragged back into Sheila's orbit once more. It raises painful questions. Will this battle end differently? Or is Steffi doomed to keep reliving the same nightmare? Fans can't help but feel for her, because she's done everything right. She set boundaries. She chose safety. She tried to protect her family. And still the danger returns. That injustice is what makes this storyline so emotionally heavy. Steffi's strength comes at a cost. There's no denying Steffi's strength. She's a survivor, a fighter, and a woman who refuses to back down. But strength has a cost, and today's very sad news highlights just how high that cost is becoming. Every battle leaves a mark. Every confrontation steals a piece of peace. Every reminder of Sheila tightens the knot of fear in Steffi's chest. And yet she will fight because that's who Steffi is. What comes next? As Steffi prepares for another inevitable showdown with Sheila, fans are left holding their breath. Will this battle finally bring closure, or will it plunge Steffi into even deeper darkness? Will Finn be able to stand firm, or will Sheila once again find a crack to exploit? One thing is certain. The emotional fallout will be immense. Today's very sad news isn't just about an upcoming conflict. It's about a woman who's been pushed to the edge one too many times and is still standing, even when she shouldn't have to. Steffi Forrester is gearing up for another Sheila battle, and while she may be ready to fight, fans can't help but mourn the peace she's about to lose all over again. The sun may be shining over the turquoise waters of the Pacific outside the Cliff House, but inside, a darkness is gathering that threatens to swallow the Forrester family whole. For fans of the Bold and the Beautiful, today brings a wave of very sad news, as we witness Steffi Forrester Finnegan, Jacqueline McInnes Wood, realize that her worst nightmare isn't just returning, it's already standing in her living room. As January 2026 unfolds, the fragile piece Steffi fought so hard to build is crumbling. The woman who has haunted her dreams and nearly ended her life, Sheila Carter, is back on the warpath. But this time, the stakes aren't just about Steffi's marriage to Finn. They are about the soul and safety of her mother, Taylor Hayes, a daughter's desperate plea. In a series of gut-wrenching scenes that aired this week, we saw a side of Steffi that we rarely see. Complete, unadulterated vulnerability. Usually the steely CEO of Forrester Creations, Steffi was reduced to tears as she begged her mother to see the truth. "Mom, you are playing with fire, and you're going to get burned." Sheila doesn't just lose, she destroys. The sad news today centers on the growing rift between Steffi and Taylor. Despite Steffi's warnings that Deacon Sharp is married to a lunatic, Taylor, Rebecca Budig, continues to insist that her bond with Deacon is professional. But we all saw the heat in those therapy sessions. The professional lines haven't just been blurred, they've been erased. For Steffi, the tragedy lies in the irony. While she tries to protect her mother from Sheila, her mother is inadvertently handing Sheila the match to light the fuse. The ultimate betrayal, Hope versus Steffi. Adding to the heartbreak is the escalating war of the daughters. While Steffi is acting out of a primal need to keep her family alive, Hope Logan is playing a dangerous game of romantic matchmaking. Hope's stance: she wants her father, Deacon, to be happy. She sees Taylor as his soulmate and is actively encouraging them to pursue a future. Steffi's reality: she remembers the alleyway. She remembers the bullets. She knows that if Sheila feels Deacon slipping away, she won't just sign divorce papers. She'll reach for a weapon. The sadness for fans today comes from watching these two women, who had finally found a semblance of peace, be driven back into a cycle of hatred. Steffi's realization that Hope is willing to risk Taylor's life just to get Deacon away from Sheila is a bitter pill to swallow. Sheila Carter, the ticking time bomb. The most chilling part of today's developments is Sheila's calm-before-the-storm demeanor. At Il Giardino, Sheila cornered Finn, Tanner Novlin, bragging about how Taylor saved her marriage. The dramatic irony is agonizing. Sheila believes Taylor is her ally, while in reality, Taylor is the woman currently stealing her husband's heart. When the truth comes out, and in Los Angeles it always does, the fallout will be catastrophic. Why this is today's very sad news. The loss of safety. Steffi finally felt the Cliff House was a sanctuary. That sense of security is now gone. A mother-daughter divide. Taylor's refusal to listen to Steffi is creating a wall between them that might never come down. The impending violence. We know Sheila's history. Every time she is redeemed, the fall back into villainy is bloodier than the last. What happens next? Steffi is now forced to prepare for a battle she never wanted to fight again. She is gathering her coalition of protectors, Finn, Lee, and even a reluctant Ridge, to build a wall around Taylor. But with Deacon and Taylor planning secret lunches and therapy sessions that look a lot like dates, Steffi is fighting a war on two fronts, one against a villain and one against the people she loves most. The question remains, can Steffi save her mother before Sheila realizes she's been betrayed? Or are we heading toward another tragic night that will leave the Forrester family changed forever?